computer. Okay, welcome everyone to today's EDGEy conversation, and we're delighted today to have with us Beth Martin and Rainie Murphy from the Freedom Kitchen and Closet. So I'm going to turn things over to them to hear about this exciting story, and then we'll come back for some questions in just a bit.
Awesome, great. Okay, so the first challenge is we're going to try and share the screen. Files. Why can't I get where's my computer? This is going to be fun.
Maybe.
Select a window. Okay, so we are very pleased to present Freedom Kitchen and Closet. It is an outreach program run by Knox United in Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia. And it's really all about Sackville supporting Sackville. So a little bit of background. This Freedom Kitchen and Closet started as a result of a good, strong pride of United Church, and particularly in Nova Scotia. A strong food fellowship was alive and well here at Knox, and it grew to an outreach opportunity way back in the fall of 2014. So the community outreach meal event, the Come Meal, was started as a free once-a-month fellowship event, providing meals to seniors and families in the community. It then grew into a partnership with other local churches, so each church would take a rotation of the month, and it brought together the various faiths in the community, so Baptist, Roman Catholic, Anglican, and Salvation Army, along with Knox United.
One of the early observations from the Come Meal was families and youth in the area were in greater need than we could help. Oh, I can't see what you said there.
It's close now.
Okay. Within the Sackville community, a youth program runs out of the local library through the Department of Community Services. It is aimed at youth and provides a safe and inclusive space for those in the LGBTQ+ community. A large community of homeless people living in local woodlands also became known to Knox. An idea to offer a free meal from the library parking lot aimed to the youth and homeless was formed.
So way back, almost a year and a half ago, we started a partnership with the Salvation Army using their emergency services food truck to serve free meals once a week from the public library parking lot. Our first meal served 46 total meals, mainly to youth.
Community support. Volunteers started to pour in to help serve. We have over 200 volunteers signed up on our platform. Local sports teams, community members, Knox congregants. Soon there was a lineup to help out. Corporate sponsors soon followed.
One of our main corporate sponsors is a local car dealership, Cars Are Us. They heard about Freedom Kitchen and soon became a drop-off center for food donations. Quickly, they became involved on a larger level, promoting Freedom Kitchen through their social media channels. And we now receive, we go and pick up donations from there at least on a weekly basis. Sometimes we have to go multiple times, particularly around the Christmas season. In addition, one of the things that we found out, of course, is that people who are living with food insecurity oftentimes are in need of other things as well. In Nova Scotia, our winters are long and cold and wet. So we quickly became aware that there was a need for warm clothing and footwear. So Cars Are Us donated at no cost to Freedom Kitchen a 30-foot trailer that we quickly outfitted with shelves and started accepting donations of warm jackets and footwear, and quickly that became a success as well.
In early spring 2020, a worldwide pandemic was announced. None of us were prepared for the impact it would have on our society. The Salvation Army sent their emergency food truck to Quebec to help with COVID outbreak. and left Freedom Kitchen looking for a way to continue to serve the community?
So luckily we were approached by a local food truck operator. She operates the fully loaded jacket potato, which is wonderful baked potatoes in antique cast iron bakers brought over from the UK. But because of the pandemic, she was not able to operate, so she donated the services of her truck. We then asked our clients if they would mind moving from the public library parking lot to Knox United. It's about it's about a 5-minute walk, so less than half a kilometer up the street. But we wanted to make sure with our clients that they were still comfortable in coming to receive the free meal, but from our parking lot. So from a religious institution parking lot as opposed to the public library. As you can imagine, many of our clients have been traumatized in some way or shape from systematic abuse. So we really wanted to make sure that they would continue to come to the service, to the outreach food program. And all of the clients indicated that because we were a united church and that we were an affirming congregation and welcoming to everyone and all, that they were completely comfortable in continuing to come to our program. Additionally, in the spring of 2020, Nova Scotia encountered the worst violent tragedy in Canadian history. So the mass murder in Portapique. It's about an hour away from Lower Sackville, so not in our immediate community, but our province, as an entire province, felt this tragedy extremely heavily, and it was a very dark period in our provincial history. So one of the things that one of our sponsors came to us and said, what can we do to help those frontline workers and the community members of Portapique? So they were, it's a lovely little bakery, so they were willing to make flowers of hope, blooms of hope. So they made flower-shaped cookies, and we delivered them to frontline workers, healthcare workers, the RCMP, the fire departments in Portapique. And it was just a lovely way to provide our support in a small way to everybody that was so dramatically involved with that tragedy.
Another program we have offered, because the need was there, was our backpack program. Families facing food insecurities often struggle during back to school time of the year. Freedom Kitchen partnered with other local community groups to fill backpacks with school supplies and provide them at no cost to those in need. We filled over 400 backpacks, and they were supplied out through our local food bank with masks and all the school supplies needed to go back to school.
And our Christmas Appeal 2020, we deliver meals on a weekly basis to approximately 120 seniors and veterans throughout our immediate community. We wanted to be able to give them a Christmas present because many of them are alone or isolated from family, especially during COVID-19. So we put a small call out just on our Facebook page. Hey, everybody, could you provide a small present and just mark it male or female? And within the first week, we were just inundated with presents and gifts, and people, once they heard that we had enough for what we needed to deliver to our clients, they said, well, we just want to keep on giving, and they just kept pouring in. So ultimately, we ended up with more than 600 presents, and we asked for one small present. We didn't get small presents. We got bags of presents, like large gift bags filled with presents, and over 600 of them. So that allowed us to give one of those gift bags to all of our clients, our seniors and veterans. It also allowed us to give them to all of the local long-term care facilities. It gave us the ability to provide Nova Scotia Rehabilitation Center is where you go if you have had a broken back or an orthopedic surgery, those types of things, a stroke, all of those, long-term rehabilitation areas. So in Halifax, there is our rehab center. So we were able to provide all of the patients that were going to be spending the Christmas period. We were able to provide them with a gift, as well as the Nova Scotia Hospice providing care through until death. So it went far beyond our expectations, and the generosity of the community of Sackville is just unbelievable. It's the St. John.
All right, so St. John, HMCS St. John's, Newfoundland, local ship that has been ported here in Halifax. They heard that Freedom Kitchen was needing volunteers to accept large food donations. The crew of HMCS St. John's now volunteer once a month, collecting, sorting, and carrying lots and lots of donations up the stairs to our top floor where we have our storage room.
So they are truly heroes. The first time that they became involved, we were receiving over 1,300 pounds of food donations. So it was certainly, it was wonderful to see them become involved, and their ability to form a chain and just move the food up our stairs. You can see, our stairs are fairly steep, and they had no problem, and they had everything unloaded. So we were more than grateful to provide them with a lovely breakfast for their efforts, and they were quick to sign on for a month, every month contribution.
Good.
Yep. So another thing that has happened, that you will see that the blessings with this program just keep on keeping on. So one of the more recent things that we've done is we've partnered with Second Harvest, which is a food rescue program. To date, we've received over $40,000 of food, which is equivalent to almost 11,000 meals. And recently, we've partnered with Saputo Dairy Maritimes, and about 2 weeks ago, we received over 6,500 milliliter tubs of sour cream. And they went very quickly out to the community. And just this Saturday gone, we they're just this Saturday gone. My daughter just came in, and this Saturday gone, we received over 300 2 liters of chocolate milk. So you can imagine how quickly those went, and especially once we let the local hockey teams know they were having practices. So we made a call to the rink and said, by the way, we've got 300 2 liters of milk. And they said, fantastic. So it did not take us long to get rid of that afterwards.
Cobb's Bread is another one of our local partners. We received end of day product twice a week, Thursdays and Saturdays. We then come back to Knox United Church. We bake every loaf of bread, roll, sweet, and we distribute them free to Freedom Kitchen clients every single Monday.
So you can see that we have a lot of bread. The top picture was our very first night. We weren't exactly sure how much we were going to receive, so we were a little bit, we were overwhelmed. But we've quickly become able to take that, and we now have a rotation of teams that on Thursday night we have one team, on Saturday night we have another team, and we have it down to a fine science now. We receive on average 12 to 15 Rubbermaid totes full of bread, which we then bring back and bag, and then we put on the shelves, and we put them out every Monday to our clients. And it's unbelievable that a loaf of bread makes such a difference to our clients, and they are able to have a loaf of bread, and they are so grateful for a simple loaf of bread. And one of the things that we're extremely excited to show you in just a moment is we now have a permanent facility to operate Freedom Kitchen out of. We were very fortunate. We've received a ton of funding, which is over on the side of your screen. So we've received federal funding, we've received funding from the United Church, funding from EDGEy, thank you very much. And we have individual donations and corporate sponsorships that are continuing to come in. You know, some of the most heartwarming donations at Christmas time, we had 2 little 10-year-old boys come and their class had raised funds and were able to raise almost $1,400, just a little second grade class in one of our neighboring communities, but they'd heard about Freedom Kitchen and they wanted to donate. So they arranged a lunchtime activity where each child provided, I think it was $5, and they were allowed to go into the classroom and play a game through the lunch period. And those are some of the ones that just, you know, it's just amazing to see where the support is coming from. With any luck, this video will work. So that is our new home. It is located in the front parking lot of Knox United. So if you're ever in Nova Scotia and you're in Sackville, come along Sackville Drive and you will find us. And now we have a fully functional, full-time Freedom Kitchen and closet. So the door by the O, that is our closet section. So you can come in there now and we have full shelving and you can pick your coat. You can sit down and try on the footwear. And then the window where the E is, that's where we actually serve the meals out of on Monday nights. And we have full countertops in there. We have a sink. We have 2 fridges. We have stainless steel serving tables that we can serve out of. So our meals are still prepared inside the church in our licensed kitchen. Then they're wheeled out to the building, and we have them in Cambros and serving trays, and we're able to serve directly from the building. And as of tonight, we are ecstatic to announce that tonight we will officially serve our
20,000 meals.
We will actually hit over 20,000 meals served if we only serve 1 meal tonight, and we're expecting to serve around 300. That is our average on a weekly basis now, is we're serving anywhere between 300 and 400 meals every Monday night. And the work at Knox goes on. And that is our presentation. Oh, you're muted.
I'm glad you couldn't have heard all my oohs and ahs as you were making the presentation. And I'll just ask you if you could press the stop share button, and we can get your on screen here more fully. That's an amazing story. I mean, partners, reaching vulnerable communities, growth, expansion from food to cookies to backpacks to, like, it's unbelievable. I'm kind of thinking, and there are other groups called this, but it's like the Stone Soup story, right? Everyone brings their ingredient and the community is able to do things beyond what they imagined. So now, in situations like this, it's usually not our plan the way things turn out. What were some of the things that kind of surprised you or were unexpected in this journey for the two of you?
Every step of it has been a surprise. Truthfully, the Come event, that was going to be a nice little event that we provided, really for the seniors. And then we heard about the youth that there's a program out of the library called the Den. And we that provides a safe space for the youth of the community to go to. So Rainie became friends with the coordinator of that program, and quickly came back and said, hey, we've got a lot of youth that are in need in the community. And so that started that step.
We started with the recess program. So I came back to the congregation on a Sunday and I said, look, we've got these kids over at the Den. They're starving. They don't have funds for snacks. They have no funding for food. They have a microwave. They have a counter. They have a water cooler. These kids are starving. Some of these kids don't get lunch. By the next week, we actually put a little plastic dresser out there, hoping to fill this little plastic dresser. The following Sunday we came in, we couldn't find the plastic dresser. There was so much food, the little craft dinner cups that you add water and away you go. just so much stuff that was there. We were able to provide them with lunches and snacks for months on end, and too much that they couldn't even handle. We had to open a separate storage facility for them in our church. So the church gave us a room, and we had that room completely jam-packed full of snacks. And when they needed more, they called us, we brought it over to them.
Wow, fantastic. I am amazed that you were able to say yes to these situations. And I'd be interested to hear how, because often, you know, a need comes up and 16 reasons why we can't respond come to mind for people. Liability issues, whatever it is, but somehow you folks were able to do a yes and leading to huge impact. Like I was amazed at the numbers. So my question around that is how has this experience kind of shaped your own spiritual journey, your own kind of understanding of dating?
Well, for me personally, 2020 was a very interesting year in that, you know, we sort of started to hear about this little thing called COVID, you know, January, February. I ended up retiring after a career of 34 years in May. So I was kind of going, oh, what am I going to do in my retirement? You know, we were empty nesters for the first time. So there was a lot of things going on in my personal life as well. And it was like, do you know what? I think, you know, this is a good place for me to become involved. And has just turned into a blessing. The friendships, the partnerships, just everything about it has just been confirmation. And there is no denying that this community is blessed by this program. So that's my story.
Where do we start?
We'll be lucky if Rainie gets through it without a tear.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Freedom Kitchen was supposed to be a food truck on wheels, providing soup and sandwiches.
As a pilot project.
I am like, literally, I live in Dartmouth. We now need to move to Sackville because my need here is so much bigger.
The call comes in, I'm here. I mean, we got a call from a lovely lady in Shubenacadie, an hour away. Her sister had a house fire. They have nothing. They came out in their socks. They have nothing. What can we do, Rainie? I call all my clients. I work for myself. Sorry, I cannot come in today. I am needed. I run out to Sackville and make sure they have what they need. Freedom Kitchen has opened up my eyes, my heart, my soul, and I can't do anymore. So we're gonna call it a day.
You gotta be careful what you promise.
Oh, it's just it really does. The need. I mean, I've grown up and lived and raised my own family here in Lower Sackville, and from the 30,000 foot level, Sackville is a bedroom community of Halifax, the capital city in Nova Scotia. It's a pretty, blue collared, middle income community until you scratch the surface. And then all of a sudden, it's not so blue collared. There really is real need here. I mean, I would never, ever have guessed the level of need and the consistency of that need. So when I discovered that, I was just, blown away. I mean, my kids were involved in the local football and local soccer clubs and, all of the, guiding and those types of things at one point. Went to, school here, public school. I was never, ever aware of the need. And then when COVID hit, to go from 46 clients on your first night to consistently being over 300 every week.
And 480 at Christmas.
480 meals we served at Christmas time. So it's just unbelievable. The work that is involved with providing those meals, you can imagine. But we have a waiting list of volunteers. We don't have a problem getting volunteers. We have a waiting list of volunteers. You hear about, financial need.
we have money that thankfully is just, we kind of send a little prayer up, like we're like, at Christmas time, we said, oh dear, where are we going to put the turkeys? And then all of a sudden we had somebody phone up and say, we have $1,500 that we would like to donate, but that we want it to go to a certain thing. And we said, well, how would you like to buy 2 freezers? And 2 freezers came from heaven. And that's just been the way that it has. Like, we just say, oh, eeks, we think we need this. And all of a sudden we turn around and there it is. Yeah, it's just been amazing.
We have one rule in the Freedom Kitchen, and I live by it, and the word no does not exist.
If you ask, we will get it. We will find a way. And I mean, there's so many partnerships. We posted on our social media, and the next day I've got this, I can help out.
Yeah. And that was one of the stunning parts of the story for me. And I think part of the abundance is your capacity to make these partnerships with charitable organizations, faith-based, for-profit, government, a ship's crew. Like, it's amazing. Yeah. It's like, both of you said it in different ways, Beth and Rainie. When you open your heart to, we like to say God's up to something, right?
Yeah.
God's up to something. You open your heart to it, you find out it's far beyond your imagination. So I'm almost reluctant to ask this next question, but I'll ask it anyway. Where do you imagine this is going?
Oh boy, that's a scary one. We take it day by day. We have plans. Well, this summer we actually have plans to hire a student who will come in and start to document some of the processes involved with the program, because as a grassroots organization, we've been really good at doing, but not really great at documenting. So making sure that, whoever follows in our footsteps, 100 years down the road, will know who, where to call, who our contacts are. Our volunteers, how are we going through our volunteers on a rotational basis so that we're not draining one pool and underutilizing the next, as well as, I don't know, maybe we go more than Monday nights. We are operating 2 or 3 nights a week. Maybe we end up being, if we dreamed really, really big, maybe we end up being sort of a cafe style where you could come in whenever, we'd operate on fairly normal business hours, and you come in and pay what you can. And go from there. So the where could we dream? No, we can dream pretty big.
Well, thank you to you both for taking the time today, because it sounds like you've got a lot of things on your plate.
We have a team. We have a team in the kitchen making supper right now. It is a Monday, so
yes, I saw some communication going on there.
Yeah.
Wherever it goes, I am quite certain it's going to be somewhere wonderful. And thank you for the letting us know about that documentation process. I'm sure there are many people hearing this that will be very interested in that. A little more detail on how you got there and what you've learned along the way. It'll be very precious to folks. In the meantime, thank you so much for sharing your witness to what God's up to through you and the members of your community. It's amazing.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Our pleasure. Thanks so much.
All right.
Okay, take care.
Bye.